Most men don't learn these truths when they're 20. They learn them after they've already paid for them, with years, with peace, with opportunities they never get back. Some men learn them after a divorce. Some learn them after losing themselves. Some learn them after realizing they spent years building the wrong future with the wrong woman. The question is whether you learn them now or pay for them later. Here are 10 hard truths every man needs to hear. Truth number 1, love is never enough. If love were enough, divorce wouldn't exist. If love were enough, incompatible people would work everything out. If love were enough, nobody would wake up miserable beside someone they still care about. Love matters, but love doesn't fix chronic disrespect. It doesn't fix completely different values. It doesn't fix a complete lack of trust. It doesn't fix two people wanting completely different futures. A lot of men waste years trying to solve problems with love that love was never designed to solve. The hard truth is that some people love each other deeply and are still completely incompatible. Love is important, but it never has been and never will be enough. Truth number 2, never make a woman your entire world. A relationship should become a part of your life. It should never become your entire life. The fastest way to lose yourself is to make a woman your entire world, your entire reason for living. That type of attachment will ruin you and cause you a lot of suffering. It's imperative that you keep your friends, keep your interests, keep your goals, keep your purpose, keep your identity. The moment your happiness depends entirely on a woman, you've handed her a level of power that will crush you. A healthy relationship adds to your life. It doesn't replace it. Too many men look up one day and realize they abandoned everything that once mattered to them. They completely gave up their autonomy. They stopped growing. They stopped building. They stopped becoming. And they poured all of that energy into one person. That's a dangerous trade, and you'll lose yourself every time. Truth number 3, peace matters more than passion. Passion gets all the attention. Peace determines the quality of your life. A relationship can have chemistry, attraction, excitement, intensity, and still make your life miserable. Never confuse intensity with compatibility. A lot of men mistake emotional highs and lows for love. They mistake drama for connection. They mistake unpredictability for excitement. Then years later, they realize they're exhausted and miserable. Peace is the goal every single time. Being able to be your authentic self around her matters. Being able to trust her matters. Being able to spend time together without conflict matters. Don't get me wrong, there'll be disagreements. But if you find yourself with a disagreeable woman who turns everything into a problem, that's a huge red flag. Eventually, most men discover that peace is far more valuable than a pretty face or a hot body. No woman is worth the price of a man's peace. Truth number 4, what you tolerate becomes the standard. A woman learns how to treat a man by what you tolerate, by what you repeatedly accept. Not what you complain about, not what you threaten, what you accept. Every time you ignore a behavior that violates your standards, you're teaching her those standards aren't important. That's why small compromises matter. They rarely stay small. A lot of men think they're being patient, understanding, flexible. Then one day they realize they trained her to expect behavior they never should have accepted in the first place. Standards that aren't enforced eventually disappear. And so does your dignity. A man without boundaries and a man without standards will become a man he no longer respects, and neither will she. Truth number 5. Validation is a dangerous drug. A lot of men think they're chasing love. They're actually chasing approval. They want to feel wanted, chosen, desired, important. The problem is that a man who depends on a woman's approval becomes afraid to lose it. And fear changes behavior. Fear makes men tolerate things they know they should never accept. Fear makes men stay silent when they should speak. Fear makes men betray themselves. Approval feels good, but it makes a terrible foundation for a relationship. A man who needs constant validation will eventually sacrifice too much to keep getting it. The only validation a man needs is the validation he gives himself. Nothing external can validate a man. This comes from within, and if he looks outside of himself for it, if he thinks he's going to get this from a woman, he'll never be the man he was meant to become. Truth number 6. Respect is non-negotiable. Without respect, everything dies. Trust dies, communication dies, attraction dies, intimacy dies. The desire to spend time together dies. A lot of men spend years focusing on love while completely ignoring respect. That's the worst form of self-erosion. Love can survive a disagreement. Love can survive a rough season. Love can survive stress. What it struggles to survive is contempt. The moment she starts disrespecting you, the relationship starts eroding towards destruction. Respect isn't proven when everything is going well. Respect is proven during conflict. It's easy to be kind when you're getting what you want. The real test is how a woman behaves when they're frustrated, disappointed, angry, under pressure, or told no. That's where character shows up. A relationship without respect is like a house with a damaged foundation. It may still be standing, but the collapse is right around the corner. Truth number 7. You can't save someone who doesn't want to change. You can support a woman. You can encourage a woman. You can help a woman. You can never change her. You can never manage her emotions. That's her job. Men waste years trying to rescue a woman who has no intention of rescuing herself. They think if they're patient enough, loving enough, understanding enough, things will eventually change. Sometimes they do. Most times they don't. One of the most expensive mistakes a man can make is believing he can change someone. You can't love someone into change. You can't sacrifice for someone to change. You can't wait for someone to change. People change when they decide the cost of staying the same is too high. Until then, you're not building a future. You're negotiating with reality. Effort only works when both people are putting in the work. One person cannot carry an entire relationship forever. Eventually, that weight becomes resentment. And resentment is the destruction of relationships. Truth number 8. Potential is a dangerous investment. Potential has wasted more years than bad intentions ever have. Potential is not reality. Potential is hope. A lot of men fall in love with who someone could become instead of who they actually are. They see flashes of it. A good week, a good conversation, a glimpse of the future they want. Then they spend years chasing that future. Relationships are built on reality, not possibilities, not fantasies, not future versions of her that may never arrive. The person sitting across from you today matters more than the person you hope they'll become 5 years from now. That's a lesson many men learn after they've already invested years trying to turn potential into reality. Remember, what you see in a woman is what you get. Truth number 9. Time is more valuable than money. No amount of money can buy back time. A lot of men spend years focusing on what something costs financially. The bigger cost is often measured in years. Years spent waiting, years spent hoping, years spent avoiding difficult decisions, years spent convincing themselves things will change. One day they wake up and realize the years are gone, whether the relationship improved or not. Time is the one thing nobody gets a refund on. That's why it's so valuable. The older a man gets, the more obvious this becomes, because eventually he realizes every year spent building the wrong future with the wrong woman is a year he can't invest somewhere else. Accept reality and choose yourself every single time. Truth number 10, never lose yourself trying to keep a woman. No relationship is worth losing yourself. Not your values, not your standards, not your voice, not your purpose, not your identity. Compromise is healthy. Self-abandonment is not. There's a difference. And a lot of men don't notice it happening. They slowly become whatever a woman needs them to be. They stop speaking up. They stop pursuing things that matter to them. They stop protecting the parts of themselves that made them who they are. Then one day they look in the mirror and barely recognize the man looking back. The goal of a relationship is not to become someone else. The goal is to build a life with someone while being your authentic self. The right woman in the right relationship never requires you to become someone else to be truly loved. No man should ever perform or play a role to keep any woman. You must hold on to your authenticity, boundaries, values, and standards, and compromise them for no one. Most men don't learn these truths from books. They learn them from experience. But experience is expensive. If even one of these truths helps a man avoid wasting years of his life, then this video was worth making. Because a man's peace, his purpose, and his identity are worth protecting every single time.